Hello and welcome to the 2020-2021 National League predictions from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage. With me, as always, is Daniel Cody and Charlie Betts. If you haven't seen us do predictions before, we've done the Championship, League One and League Two. Please check that out. We know the season's already started for them. We do a points game system here. So it's 3 points for the correct outcome. So, for example, if I said Boreham Wood to finish first and finish first, that would be 3 points. If I said Boreham Wood to finish first and they finish third, that'd be 1 point. And it's 0 points if you get it completely utterly wrong. And there's no bonus points this time because we've been clueless the last two previous seasons on the National League promotion and relegation.
How convenient.
He's referring to Filed, isn't he? That's what it is.
Filed and Solihull Moors. Well, the season will start this Saturday without one team. It's Macclesfield. They've been wound up. They've been expelled from the National League. So, obviously, we will not pick 21 to 24. It will be 21 to 23. And we start off with the person who probably knows most about the National League, Mr. Daniel Cody. Who have you got to win the league?
Sorry, Craig. I thought you were talking about me then when you said who knows the most about the National League. I was about to jump in. I apologise. No, I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. Go on. No.
I think I'm the only one who hasn't been consistently absolute dog shit when it comes to the National League, to be fair. I've not got many good leagues, but the National League is one of them. So, from 2 downwards, I would say my predictions are pretty safe, pretty expected, pretty common. For the title, I've gone a little bit out there, mainly because out of the 7 I had no idea who to pick. So to win the title, this season, I have gone, and I'm following sort of a trend at the moment, which actually I think might be the only thing to derail them. I'm going for Wrexham. And the reason I'm going for Wrexham is not because of the talk this week about Hollywood and £2 million coming from actors and producers, because I think that is the only thing that could possibly go wrong. But after a really poor season last year, where without points per game, they would have been in a proper relegation scrap with the way they were going, they have signed really well this summer. I mean, there's probably 10 or 12 names, all of which are recognisable from the EFL or National League in previous years. Among them, they've got Kelleher, the skipper from Macclesfield, who was really good in League Two last year. I mean, they've got firepower in the likes of Thomas, who's come in from Burton. They've got Yusuf on loan from Blackpool. They've got Elliot Durrell, good National League player. Jamie Reckford, Jordan Davis on loan from Brighton. Reece Hall-Johnson from Northampton. There's so many good names. Bobby Grant on loan from Oldham, another good experienced one. I mean, in terms of the squad, I'm going for a similar sort of mould to Bolton, which at this stage might look absolutely stupid. But once the 15-odd players gel, I feel they'll be unstoppable. So I'm giving them 10 games to settle in where I'll look ridiculous, and then they're going to make a surging comeback and win the National League title by 1 point. By 1 point.
It's like out of the movies, isn't it?
Roy the Rovers style here. Right, so who have you got the playoffs? Obviously, there's 6 teams in the playoffs.
Yep.
Who have you got for second place?
For second place, I've gone safe and solid. Lots of players have left them, but they've still got a good squad. And with the ownership issue sorted last season, the club's made a bit of a comeback. They were 1 game away last season. I've gone for Notts County to finish in second place. It seems a safe bet that they're going to be in the playoffs somewhere. I can't see them finishing below 7th. So I'm banking on getting at least a point. And I think of the rest, they've got the most settled side, or one of. So I'm going to stick for them to be in second place. In third, I've gone for another team that were in the playoffs last season, and that team is Boreham Wood. So the reason I've gone for them is because they've replaced a lot of loan players they had last year with permanents. So they've got Nathan Ashmore in the permanent in goal. He was on loan towards the end of last year. Really good keeper at that level. Mm-hmm. They signed Shaquille Coulthurst on a permanent deal up front. They got Matt Reed towards the end of last season. That could be a dream combination. That could be an absolute match made in heaven, those two. And then Francis Ango, a left back as well, is a very good player, and a couple of others too. I just think with the squad they already had, they've added a little bit of gold dust, and I fancy them to be right up there. So third place for Boreham Wood. For fourth place, I've gone for another squad that's fairly settled. There's not been a huge amount of change. So I've just gone for similar squad, similar outcome. I've gone for Yeovil Town. Again, a difficult place to go, right in the south of the country. So I have had to factor in that they're probably the least likely to be affected by COVID restrictions and local lockdowns and that sort of thing. I know it's a pain to talk about in National League predictions, but we do have to talk about it. The north of England's had a lot of issues, whereas right down south there's not been a great deal. So Yeovil's a safe bet. In fifth place, I've gone for probably the most surprising of my playoffs, which is Dagenham and Redbridge. Now, they have done excellent work in the window, again, after a pretty solid, poor year. They signed my favourite player and yours, Craig, from the National League, Paul McCallum, the long throw striker specialist. Can't do much better than that. He's one of 3 players, actually, that they've signed from Barnet. They've signed Elliot Johnson, the long-term left-back, and Callum Reynolds, who we know from Luton Town many years ago. And they've got some good loanees on from Ipswich, 2 young players as well. So Dagenham and Redbridge, for me, will be right up in playoff contention. Then the last 2, slight dark horses. I've gone for Stockport, a club I've always had a soft spot for. They've signed Harvey Gilmore from Tranmere, another player we know very well on this channel. Alex Reid from Stevenage and John Rooney from Barrow, which I thought was a really good signing at National League level. So for me, after missing out narrowly due to points per game, I think they'll be there next year. And in 7th place, I've gone for Halifax. Again, a pretty safe bet at that end of the table. They've had a really good window. They've signed players in their peak, which is something that I've looked at a lot with signings coming in. So for Halifax, they've signed really good players. They've got a fairly settled squad, and they haven't let a huge amount of their first teamers go. So, I mean, Ruben Nobel Lazarus, was the only standout one. They've got Luke Summerfield experience from Wrexham, Jake Hyde from Woking, who, by the way, have had a bit of a fire sale, Woking. But for me, Halifax are the best of the rest, so I'll put them in 7th place.
And who is going to win the playoff?
So I've got caught between 2 here. Again, I'm sticking to the theme of it potentially being one of the southern clubs. I don't think Notts County are going to do it again because I really worried about their big game performance against Harrogate. It wasn't great, and nothing fills me with confidence based on that. So I think the final will be featuring one of Boreham Wood or Dagenham and Redbridge. I want to go for Dagenham because their transfer window really impressed me, but Boreham Wood have got the better and more settled side. But they've also got a more experienced squad. No, I'm going to stick with it. Boreham Wood to make their Football League debut at the end of this season. I'm going to regret that.
Okay, you picked that team. Right, who have you got to go down?
So I've gone slightly obvious, and I'm going to apologise to their fans in advance. I haven't made the same mistake that I think you two are going to make, which is to go for Kings Lynn to get relegated again. But I've kept them up just. So as a result, in 21st place, I'm apologetic because they did really well in the National League South and went up by a mile. It's Wealdstone.
Wealdstone.
I know, you love it. I did it deliberately for you, Craig. I did it deliberately for you. I knew it'd get him. So they've got Harry Esteb back in goal from Luton Town for a 2nd season in a row. There's not too much quality there apart from their current squad. So they haven't added a huge amount. And you could say they didn't need to after a good season last year. But a lot of the players they've brought in are from lower levels or the same level. So they haven't really got many players in their squad that are proven at National League level. So I'm not saying they won't succeed and stay up comfortably. What I'm saying is it's the safest pick to go for because they haven't got proven players at National League level or as many as other clubs. So I'm happy to be proven wrong. And based on last season, I'd quite like them to stay up. But unfortunately, I'm playing safe and don't think they will. So 21st is Wealdstone. In 22nd place, I've probably gone for the more surprising one and the one that I don't think anyone else will have, which is Dover Athletic. So they have
of course they are. I've gone for them.
Have you gone for them?
I have. I'll tell you where in a bit, but yeah, go on.
So Dover Athletic, I've gone for 22nd place. And the reason being is that they've had a poor window so far. I'm not saying they won't loan in 3 or 4 good players, sign a couple more. So far, they've only signed 4 players, I believe. They've let so much quality and experience go. Not all of them were in the first 11 last year, but lots of experience. Anthony Jeffrey to Wrexham, Kevin Locko to Harrogate. They've lost Ricky Modeste. I know he was a bit past his prime, but to Dartford. Ini Effiong, the key goal scorer, has gone to Stevenage. Jai Reason to Billericay. They've lost a hatful of quality players. And as a result, I worry about them. So Dover, for me, in 22nd place to go down. They've punched above their weight for years. And unfortunately, I just think it'll be a year too far for them. They've been gradually creeping down the National League table. And I think there'll be a big drop this year. And then finally, to finish bottom, I'm afraid I've had to go for Weymouth. So 3 teams from the south of the country. More important than anything in the transfer market, they've lost their manager who got them back-to-back promotions. He's gone to Southend, where it obviously hasn't started well. They haven't had a particularly inspiring transfer window, but they have got a good side. But 2 promotions in a row and losing your manager, all of those things together don't add up well. So again, a bit like Wealdstone, really, a safe bet. So they're my 3 to go down, I'm afraid.
Right, it's my turn now to pick who is going to win the National League, and it's quite obvious. It's Notts County. Yeah, so they lost in the final last season. It was very poor display. They looked nervous. Harrogate pounced on their nervousness. But I still think it's a strong squad. Despite a couple of players going, I still think it's quite strong. They looked impressive in the past before that. But I'm going for them. I think they need that year to readjust, get the back off the field stuff sorted, and then hopefully this season they can really pounce and go for it this season. Second place, I've gone for Yeovil. I think them two will be a close race for the title. You've gone for a point. I think there'll be at least a couple of points in it between them two. Luke Wilkerson's there. I didn't even know Luke Wilkerson was there. Very good defender. Third place, I have gone for Barnet.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure on Barnet, but I'm going for them there. With the manager there, Peter Beadle, it was at Hereford before. Obviously got the sack. He obviously done very well with Hereford, taking on successive promotions after they folded and came back as a Phoenix club. But I still expect it to be strong. Fourth place, I've gone for Dagenham and Redbridge. Like what you said, got some really good signings. Obviously, you said Paul McCallum, Matt Robson's still there, he's captain.
Yep.
Dean Rance, he was at Ebbsfleet, another good signing. Obviously, Dan McMahon's in charge, so he used to be a former Ebbsfleet manager, so he's got a little bit of connection. I think they're going to be really strong. And with Tim Howard in the background, they can do a job. The money's there. Fifth place, I've gone for Wrexham. So L Gaming 1, hello. I have decided to go for Wrexham.
That was a cheap plug, that.
Yeah. If the ownership changes, obviously with Ryan Reynolds and Webby's face take over the club, I think that'd be fantastic. That sort of thing could spark the club, can rejuvenate, gets people going, gets everyone's buzzing, all that stuff. If that goes through, I can see that happening, and I think they might make the playoffs. Well, we'll make the playoffs because I said the fifth. Sixth place, Boreham Wood. They've been consistently in there. What they got to do to get over the line, get promotions, it's another step. I think they'll be the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what they need to get over the line. It's not big Matt Reed, but he's a handful.
I'm already regretting picking them to win it.
And seventh place, I've gone for Chesterfield. I'm sticking with my boys, Chesterfield. Because John Pemberton staying in charge, the squad's still the same. Mandeville's still there. Yarney, Jonathan Smith. Obviously, played them as foot manager on the save. Beat Barnet and yourself, Cody. Champion.
He had to get it in there, didn't he? He had to.
They're a good team. They're very good players. They
are on paper, yeah.
They are on paper. So I hope they do well and make the playoffs. So obviously, they finished in 20th place last season. So now this is the rebuild. Now I think they can be up there in the playoffs. For my team to win it, Cody nailed it on the head. He had two choices of Dagenham or Boreham Wood, and he might be silly on picking Boreham Wood, but I've gone for Dagenham.
I'm going to be so angry if that happens. So angry.
So Dagenham is my team for promotion, back in the Football League. For relegation, I've gone for the absolute obvious. It's all three out of the four promoted sides to be relegated, I'm afraid. 21st place, I've gone for Wealdstone. To be honest, it's what you alluded to earlier. It's a small squad. The good thing is they're probably similar. So obviously, then the team gel will be there. But I think it'll be a bit too much. I think for all three sides, I think it'll be a bit too much, especially with 22nd and 23rd with Weymouth in 22nd. Successive promotions for them. Obviously, the manager's gone. I didn't think they would actually go and progress. Get promoted to the National League this early. So I think it might be a year too early for them. But fair play to them to actually get promoted.
Yep.
And in 23rd place, I have gone for Kings Lynn. I know we tipped them to go down to the National League North this season. Brilliant. They've done fantastically well to actually stay up there all season, even though we said, they're going to lose this. They stayed there. Fair play to them. Got promoted. Small club. Obviously, go and enjoy it, lads. Just go for the ride, but I think just enjoy it. It's a similar thing to Wickham in the Championship. Just go out and enjoy yourselves and obviously see what happens at the end of the year. But I think they're going to finish one. Charlie.
These are unprecedented times, and there are some obvious ones that you've spoken about, but I've gone for a few dark horses in this because I do think that, especially with the way it's going to work out, a lot of teams you've mentioned, but to win the league, and I know that this is a bit of an outside shot, I've actually gone for Stockport. So I know they finished 8th last year. However, just go with me a minute. You obviously mentioned about John Rooney, scores goals for fun. Connor Jennings as well from Tranmere, who we obviously remember.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just think there's a little bit of extra quality there. Jordan Williams from Fylde as well. So, you know, there's lads who played in the National League a lot. Jim Gannon obviously is a bit of stability there, added just with a little bit of quality. So it is an outside bet, but, you know, why not? Because I think they've got that foundation there. Added with those two players, I just think they'll have enough quality to get there. So for me, I think they're going to win the league, and it goes a bit haywire after that. So in second place. So in fact, no, second place is a sort of safe bet for what you were saying. Dagenham and Redbridge, you know, you mentioned about all the lads who've come in. They've also got Darren McQueen from Dartford as well, who obviously is a good, very good player. So, you know, you've got him, obviously, all those lads you mentioned before. They've got a good firepower about them now. And you'd like to think, especially with Callum Reynolds, you know, people who've been in around the playoffs and the National League before. So that's the sort of signings they're making, which I think is really good. Notts County in third. Obviously carry on from sort of last year and what you'd said. I don't think they'll go up as winners. I don't think they'll win the playoffs, They did Scott Wilson from Oldham. I don't know if you remember him. Obviously a decent player as well, a bit of experience there. But I still don't think it'll be enough for them to win the playoffs. Fourth place, although there's been a lot of outs there, I've gone for Bromley. Now, the reason being, they signed Liam Trotter, who's obviously full of experience. Why are you looking at that, Craig? You're not a fan of Bromley?
No, I'm very surprised by your pick.
Yeah, I have him near the bottom as well, to be fair.
Oh, really? Well, it's Tom Perrington from Plymouth as well. That you know, Byron Webster from Carlisle, who used to play for Carlisle. There's some good players. I know they've got rid of a few. I just think that actually maybe replaced a bit of quality over quantity. So could have a thin squad, might not be enough. So I might have egg on me face in that sense. But I do think that maybe the ones they brought in are good players. So that might be enough for them. Fifth place, I've gone for Halifax. Obviously finished sixth last year. They've been quite early with their signings. Obviously, you mentioned about Jake Hyde, and I think it's like 16 goals he got last year. And I just think maybe they've been quite early. They've had a long time to gel together in terms of as pre-season goes. Luke Summerfield as well, people like that, hit the ground running. Could be enough if they get a good, strong start just to keep them in and around the playoffs. So I've gone for them. Sixth place is a bit of a dark horse because I know they were poor last year, but I've gone for Torquay and Gary Johnson, and obviously the whole sort of Gary Johnson effect and all of that.
I thought about it.
Well, they signed Dean Moxey, haven't they, as well? You know, they got like Nelson from Dundee. I just think, although they did lose, I can't remember up front, they scored quite a few goals for him. He's gone. But anyway, I just think, I don't know. I think Gary Johnson's a very experienced manager. He's getting the best out of average players is his sort of game. And they've got a bit more of a settled squad and added a little bit to it. So, you know, just as an outside bet, I think Torquay might make it. And then seventh is who you mentioned earlier, obviously Boreham Wood. The only one I was going to add to that was they still got Tishy Manga there at the minute. Whether he stays or not, I don't know. So added to the signings you've already mentioned. So that's who I think are going to be in the playoff positions. As for a final, it was tough. I don't know. I sort of feel like Halifax might get there. I know it's a bit of a dodgy sort of thing, but I think they'll be in the final. I don't know if they've got enough to win it. And whether they'll probably end up playing someone like Dagenham and Redbridge, who've probably got too much quality for them. But you've gone for Dagenham and Redbridge, Craig. So I'm going to go for an outside bet. I'm going to go for Halifax to go up in the playoffs.
And your teams for relegation?
See, I've got to be honest. I looked at Woking, and obviously the whole thing, Godfrey Pocku's gone, who you spoke to. I was caught, and you're going to laugh at the next one. I was caught between them and Aldershot. Because although Aldershot, you know, they lost obviously that Chislett to AFC Wimbledon a while back, you know, but then their next goal scorer, highest goal scorer, was Betterman with 5 goals. I can't really see where the goals coming from. However, Woking are part-time, which I don't know as a side debate, I don't know if that would benefit them with the whole coronavirus and the money and all of that, whether that would be. So I don't know. I'm probably going to bottle it and go for Woking to go into 21st place. But Aldershot will be down there, I think, in my opinion. So I'm going to go for Woking. And I'm going to hate it if Aldershot get there now, because that would be not. 22nd, I've gone for Weymouth. We obviously mentioned about that, you know, in terms of all of the things. They have got a bit of quality about them. There's a couple of lads there, but I don't think it'll be enough. You know, I'm not going to go over the same points you have earlier. And then in 23rd place, I went for Dover. So you mentioned about Andy Heston-Tyler. I think have they got like a lot of financial issues off the pitch at the minute? Because the squad seems fairly threadbare.
Yeah.
There's a bit, from what I can gather, there's a bit of financial instability. And obviously lost Effie Young and people like that. So I just think that if any club's going to go with a bit of the financial stuff, I probably think it'll be Dover, and I think they'll end up, unfortunately, bottom of the, 23rd in the table. So some probably strange picks, probably going to get a lot of abuse in the comments below, but I'm going to go with them. So that's my National League.
You shouldn't be disappointed with that. I went for Woking in 19th in my table, so I had them down there as well. Aldershot's the only one I disagree with a bit. I think they'll be all right.
Fair enough. One out of that, I'll take that from an expert, to be fair.
That's pushing it.
So let's have a quick recap of who we picked. So Cody has gone for Wrexham to win the National League. In the playoffs, he's got Notts County in second, Boreham Wood third, Yeovil in fourth, Dagenham and Redbridge fifth, Stockport sixth, and Halifax seventh, with Boreham Wood getting promoted via the playoffs. In relegation terms, Wealdstone in 21st, Dover in 22nd, and Weymouth in 23rd. Myself, I've gone for Notts County to win the National League. Second place, Yeovil. Third place, Barnet. Fourth place, Dagenham and Redbridge. Fifth place, Wrexham. Sixth place, Bournemouth. Seventh place, Chesterfield, with Dagenham and Redbridge going up via the playoffs. In the relegation zone, Wealdstone in 21st, Weymouth 22nd, and Kings Lynn in 23rd. And Charlie has gone for Stockport County to win the National League. Dagenham and Redbridge second, Notts County third, Bromley fourth, Halifax fifth, Torquay sixth, and Bournemouth seventh, with Halifax going up via the playoffs. I don't know why we're laughing at that one. And
Well, no,
Any
I
worse than
probably would
mine?
have gone Dagenham and Redbridge, to be fair. But anyway, there you go.
with the relegation zone, it is Woking for 21st, Weymouth 22nd, and Dover 23rd. So those are our picks for the National League. Let us know in the comments who you think will go up, who will go down. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and you can follow us on Twitter @OnThisFootball3. And we'll see you next time.